Garrett Fry, the Cityscape Sequence Lead for 3D Digital Map Painting. We're taking a look at B100. So let's take a look. It starts out high and ends right here on our city. So for this shot, we need to make sure that we are replacing 50% or up to 50% of the city skyline. So you can kind of draw a little imaginary line through here somewhere, and this is the area that you're going to want to replace things. This stuff down here can stay. These are the ones that are a bit more iconic that we need to change for the story. So if you do change things where there are trees, and if the trees are slightly moving in the plate, then you can just go ahead and you could roto those shapes, or you can just take a chunk of that tree and just still it, and then kind of transition into the moving parts of the tree and see if you can get away with that. So that's a common thing to do, is to still, which is just take one frame and just kind of hold it there, and that would just be as a matte painting patch. So that would lay on top of this footage here, and then it makes it a lot easier to put buildings behind there. So the buildings that you can put in here, you can either completely replace a whole building with a new building. You can cut out a building, and so we're just seeing sky back there, or you can put some buildings behind. So there's a couple different options you can do for changing up this shot. Some things that you're going to want to make sure is that we have a really nice directional light for this shot. It's coming from over the shoulder, or from screen right over here rather. And you can see that these buildings have a really nice specular quality to them. So you're going to want to make sure that you're adding that into your buildings, especially if you're grabbing a building that is overcast. If it's an overcast building, then you'll need to add that specular quality. And when you do that, it's going to make your building really look alive and fit within the shot. If you do not put that specular quality in, and it should have, like it's a metal building, but it has no specular quality, it's going to look dead in the shot, and it's not going to integrate well. So while you're looking at this shot and going through the reference and deciding which buildings you want to use for this, you need to be mindful that there's other shots of the same location that you're going to need to fit your buildings into. So this is B100, but there's also B101, and there's B102, and there's B103, and all of these represent different times of day. So the reference that you choose will need to be flexible enough that it will work under all of these shots. So I would go through and I would pick up these different shots and fit your buildings into it, do a quick concepts, and see if you can kind of get it there a little bit. And once you're confident that that asset will work through all those shots, then go ahead and start on the final matte painting for this shot. Make sure that before you jump into these shots, you download the image library. The image library consists of nearly 500 raw images. That's 2.27 gigs of buildings from 5 different cities from around the world: Sydney, Wellington, Adelaide, San Francisco, and New Orleans. So there's a huge variety of buildings to choose from. The photo reference includes buildings under all different lighting conditions and angles, so it pays off to familiarize yourself with the materials you're going to use to successfully execute these shots.